Boy, oh boy. I don't know what it is today, but your boy is irritable. Um, I don't know, just things are happening around me, and I know that if I was well rested, maybe fed a little bit so I'm not hangry, maybe it wouldn't bother me as much. Or maybe I've been holding some stuff deep within me that is about to burst. And yeah, kind of go against everything that I've ever kind of preached on this podcast, and that's where we're at. Your man's is going through it. That is where we are at. And I just gonna do a very quick one today, just to check in with you all, let you know about what's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, let's crank. Actually, let's just get straight into it, so we can try and bring the action. I just needed something familiar. Just something to remind me that this is what's happening, that I'm here, recording here to there. So you are hearing my voice, and this is what I do when I sit down and I rant. And the reason why you are with me today is because you must enjoy something that I say, or you just want to support the Kaupapa. And I'm all for that. But yeah, I guess training has started back, work has started back, life has started back. And every morning I'm waking up just feeling dusty. Like I feel hungover, I feel uninspired, I feel, what else do I feel? I feel surprised that for the amount of rest that I'm getting, I am not feeling rested when I wake up. I feel irritable. Anything that I see that doesn't quite agree with me, or anything that I hear that I don't like, or like the frequency of the sound, or something that someone has said, a song that comes on that just, there's just so many things right now that just haven't settled into place. And I think because I don't know what it is that's going to satisfy me, to make me feel like I'm okay right now, I'm quite anxious. I get quite anxious, and I get quite scared in times like this, because we know what happens when things go out of control for your boy. But getting on top of it now, like there have been a couple of things I've been writing. I do a reflection for my counsellor like most weeks, just to see what type of frequency we need to get in terms of seeing each other and being able to talk through some things. And I'm not at that dangerous point right now, like I was maybe a couple of weeks ago, but now, like, we're kind of getting there. And it's come down to a few things. But before I do that, I just want to plug my boy, Jamie Sigelco, who is my barber, and has low-key become like almost a counselling session. I don't want to say that, because like I don't want you to expect that your barber should always be your counsellor. But we had this really cool chat. We had a cool discussion about, the barbershop as the last place for men to speak about how they feel, or to speak about their days, and to just kind of, be with a friend who's not necessarily a friend, but you're there for a multitude of things. And I'd like to have him on as a guest sometime, so he can divulge a little further. But the areas that we went to because I've been going to him, obviously before I started growing my hair out. I went to him about 3 years before that, and now, with him again. And I used to see him back then about once every fortnight, and this time I see him like once a month, just to get the moulet shiny. And yeah, we just said that that's the last place for men to go talk about a bunch of things, and just really divulge their life and let it all out there without alcohol, without some sort of substance. And people can go in there, and you're usually sober. It's usually after work. It's usually on your lunch break. It's usually just a quick trip away, and it's for about half an hour to an hour of doing something for yourself. You're going out there to get your hair done so that you can have that sort of confidence. You can look a little better, aesthetically more pleasing. You can feel clean. You can feel a bunch of really good things about yourself, and you're doing something for yourself. And obviously it's a bunch of men, but it's in a place where you're not at the gym, so you don't have to show anything physically. You don't have to compete with one another. You're literally in there to get a service. And we were just talking about contextual friendships, and how, like, when I go to him, we just start talking, and we start bringing up random stuff that's happened in the day, in the week, or since the last time we've spoken. And there's a lot of stuff that I share with him that I hadn't spoken to anyone about that day. And just, the power that had was for me to sit there and realize, like, when he asked me if I was okay, or like, how's everything been going? What are you looking forward to? I like literally said, I've actually been looking forward to this haircut. Like, since I booked it, I've been counting down the hours till I'm actually going to be here. And it's because it's out of my regular routine. It's part of a routine. It's part of a wider routine. But in terms of people that like know me as just a person, there's not many people in this world that know me as just Troy, just a dude who comes in to get his haircut. And he was just saying, like, it's a contextual friendship because right now you and I are friends. I would talk to you about anything while you're in this chair, and you trusted me. You're coming in and you trust me with your head, and you obviously trust me that I'm going to do a good enough job so that you can go and face the rest of the world, hopefully with your shoulders back and your head up. And the hairstyle choice is not to do with him. This is my choosing, so I'm just going to put that disclaimer as well. You don't just get a mullet if you go to him, but if you did want to get a mullet, Mans will hook it up. Anyway, where was I? Fuck. That's right. No, was it? Yes. No. So when I was in there, I was looking forward to that, and it was something so small, just out of the usual, out of the usual routine of being able to go to somewhere and just be myself. Finally be myself. Not have to play a role, not have to be intelligent, not have to have deep thought, not have to think about anything, really. I just went there and I was just like, oh yeah, how's everything going? Seafood, weather's been good. How's your job going? Just a bunch of stuff like that, but not like you're coming in to help us analyze this. Can you complete this for us? Is it okay if you, just role-based things where people only see me for the skills that I'm able to bring to them rather than seeing me as a human being. And I think it has taken its toll on me a little bit more than I thought. Yeah. I was so busy giving myself to everyone else. And it's, something I should probably do for myself anyway. And like, I have stopped caring about myself because I thought I was okay. And I got a bit complacent. But then there's been a few things that have been happening where I've started to realize, if I'm that excited to go and get my hair cut, and it's not because I'm looking nasty and I need to get my hair did, it's literally just so I can socialize with someone who doesn't see me as, really good researcher, really good rugby player, really good in the gym, because that's all people ever want to talk to me about. If that's what I'm looking forward to, then there's something that I needed to do to be able to, get on top of this. So I am going away. I've got a bit of a trip. And in that time, I'm going to really enjoy myself. I'm going to have a really big rest. There will be one more solo episode. So this is me just coming to say I'm going to stop the podcast. There's a couple more interviews, a couple more solos. But yeah, I'm going to have to, for my own sake and for your sake as well, Mans is going to give it a rest for a little bit. I don't know how long, but hopefully it won't be too long. I just need I do feel like I'm taking myself for granted, and I feel like I have been taken for granted by a bunch of people who, don't, I guess because what I do, my selfless self, has given a lot to a lot of people, and I love that I've been able to heal a bunch of people or start people on their healing journey, but it has taken a lot out of me, and yeah, I guess I just want to feel like a human again. I want to feel like I can exist without having to be someone who, is known for skill. I want to be someone who is known, as a compassionate person, as fun to be around, but not needed for something that I can do for you. I need it to be a bit more mutual, and that's just something that I feel like at this point I haven't been receiving. And it might be a perception thing. I might just be a little bit precious right now. But how I'm feeling is how I'm feeling, and I just don't feel like I can give a good job to this at the moment. So anyway, I'm just letting you all know that that's what's happening, and it's okay for you to also feel the same. All the stuff that you have given yourself to for a long time, if you feel like they haven't, I hate saying they haven't served you, but if you feel like it's not, reciprocating the same energy and you are giving so much to it without a return, do consider how it is that you can, go to places where you are appreciated. I think we spend too much time shifting who we are to try and meet the expectations of other people that we lose ourselves, and we wonder why, people have so many issues or just blow up randomly because you feel like everything's fine, because everything is fine. Like everything, the way that other people are perceiving you is fine. And a lot of us do put on a role-based persona so that other people will, oh yeah, he's fine. We don't have to worry about him. But we kind of move so far from who it is that we are that it actually catches up and bites us in the ass later when we don't understand why we're doing the things that we're doing, and we don't actually understand where it is that we wanted to go. So when we move far away, our spirit knows where it's meant to be, and it'll start fucking tugging at you. And I've had my heart kind of tugged at a little bit, and this is it feels right to be able to say this. Like, I don't want to have to show up. And I had it when I was a coach at CrossFit, and I just go to classes and people would still ask me for help even though I was a participant in the class. If I go to rugby training, people are asking me about gym stuff. If I go to work, people who don't work with me will always have an opportunity for me because they need something done for them. But yeah, I need to start asking what it is that I need for myself, and I need rest. So that is going to be me. It looks easy. So this is something that I want you all to take away from this one, is that it looks easy because I have dealt with it for so long. I've dealt with trying to put on a good face, trying to put on like a I'm fine face, and being okay was the easiest way to not get into any trouble growing up. Being okay, just accepting that things were the way that they were, and being grateful for everything that we had, and not being too critical about things is what got me through, and it's why I'm so observant with different people's behaviors, because I knew how it is that I needed to act so that I wouldn't get in trouble. A consequence of that is that it's kind of become programmed into who I am as a person, and not wanting to cause any disruption or disharmony with anyone that I'm with. So I will change the way that I am, and I'm so grateful to the very close people in my life who allow me to be who I want to be and allow me to be a clown. And they will know, because I will tell them over and over and again that I'm so glad I get to be myself around them. And they know, like the people listening to this, if I've told you that, you know exactly who you are. And we're also still in contact as well. But yeah, I'm sick of having to try to be someone that maybe I've made up in my own head, but that person who needs to be okay so that I won't get into any trouble. And the person who makes it look like it's easy to be the way that I am. And I think there's just been too many instances recently where I have properly opened up about how I'm feeling about certain things. Then I'm just kind of met with resistance, like, oh, that's so not you. Like maybe you're tired or something like that. And when you get met with that, it kind of does feel like a big fuck you to, the people who you thought you trusted and you thought you knew. And you thought kind of knew who you were, but then that happens. They tell you you're intense, or that it's scary to see you a certain way. So like you actually can't be the way that you are, even though they promised you that that's okay. You can be be who you need to be. But then as soon as it's kind of not something that's congruent with what they needed from you, it kind of goes out or goes down the fucking wharepaku. Anyway, that's all I needed to say. It's a quick little, hey, how's it going? But I've been stomped pretty hard the last couple of weeks, and yeah, I'm sorry that this was a downer. I really wanted to be, I wanted you to take something away from this. My big thing for this is that I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm feeling like I also am taken for granted by putting this podcast out there as well. Like it does take a lot of energy, and when you're in a position like I am right now, where every evening is a shitter and I just can't go to sleep, and every morning I wake up and just do not feel rested, and my anxiety kicks in like 4 times harder than it usually does. It's actually difficult to come on here and be open and talk about everything that is going on at the time, and try to be positive about it, because a lot of the time I'm saying that we are going to find a way out, and I know that we will find a way out for this one. I just don't know how long it's going to take. There are a few things that I need to do for myself. There will be one more solo episode, and it'll just be me saying, yo, Mans is out, we're heading out, these are my travel plans. Looking forward to that. Will that come out? I don't know. I put it out there as if it was going to come out, but this could be also the last one for a while. Anyway, it's been nice. I do feel much better putting this one out there. A lot of you are going to listen to this and you're going to be very worried about me. The fact that I have pinpointed this and been able to talk to you about this and been able to say that, you know, this is what I need, it's a very promising sign. I think this is the one to be least worried about, because the fact that I've identified it and we're going to do some stuff to actually try to get me to where I need to be. So please don't worry about me too much. Like, you don't have to send that message. You don't have to be sorry that you didn't do anything earlier. Like, this is for me. This is for me to be able to pick up and be able to go through as well. So yeah, please don't beat yourself up. We never should beat ourselves up for anything that we haven't quite done, but just remember that, you know, for the next couple of times, just to, you know, check in with yourself and make sure that you're doing all good. And if you have the additional to be able to spare for someone else as well, then be able to give that as well. But make sure that you've got your own mask on first, as they say on Zeppelin, before you try help someone else. But anyway, I love you all, and I really appreciate the time to be able to share with this with you. But yeah, take care, and we'll catch you soon, hopefully. Boo!